Deion, can you describe your relationship with Dez Bryant?
I'm a kid who I adore, or a kid who I was summoned to help, mentor, guide. Let me tell you the vitals of Dez Bryant. Dez Bryant is a 20-year-old kid, 34-year-old mother, Angela Bryant, who is serving 5 years probation. Dez has a sister, 17, a 3-month-old child. Dez has a brother, 16-year-old, named after me. Gangs, drugs, so to speak. So to help this kid in this family structure, that's a no-brainer. That's what I do, and that's who I am.
He's ineligible now because he lied about what went on at your house.
No, he's not ineligible about what went on in my house. He's ineligible because he lied. First of all, it wasn't even a violation to come to my house. When I first started even mentoring Dez, the first thing I did was call his receivers coach. His receivers coach told me everything about Dez. When Dez is late to school, he calls me. When Dez is a little tardy to summer workouts, he calls me. So we have an ongoing relationship. And Dez helped me throughout the summer with my youth programs as such. Now, the problem was someone, they wanted to question Dez about our relationship. And Dez was nervous about, like, why these NCAA people have me in this room with a closed door questioning me? Now, had I been a liar or falsified any incident or evidence, my story would have collaborated with Dez. We talked 3 times a week and they didn't, because I don't lie. And the kid said he didn't come to my home. In actuality, he did.
When he was at your home, was your former agent and friend Eugene Parker present?
No, not whatsoever. Not whatsoever.
And in terms of
his
Dez,
girlfriend was present, my wife was present, we played basketball and had a good home-cooked meal.
Okay. The NCAA is also investigating some of his cell phone records, some of his girlfriend's cell phone records. Have you ever furnished Dez Bryant or his girlfriend with a cell phone?
I don't do that.
Any of the kids you've mentored, have you ever had anything where you purchased anything for them or any financial?
Why would I? The extent of our relationship is not that. I give them guidance and leadership and structure. That's what I try to. You recall several years ago when I tried to adopt the Noel Divine, and he fled and went back home to live with his family because his mother and father was deceased. Same type incident. This is who I am. The problem is people get so caught up in what I do and forget about who I am. And they really don't know who I am. Working with kids is what I do. I have over 100 and something kids in the NFL that I target. I call them kids, but they're young adults that I text every morning, Monday through Friday. I get weekends off because I got to do my job here. I have over 200, 300 kids in my youth programs in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. That's what I do. That's who I am.
In terms of your dealings with him, though, the fact that Dez lied, does that go against what you've told him? And did you have a chance to intervene before he spoke to the NCAA and say, hey, man, you got to tell the whole truth here?
I don't have to prepare a person to tell the truth. The truth is what it is. So the fact that he got nervous and falsified the truth, he thought he had done something wrong. When somebody's there, were you at the house of Deion Sanders? Were you there? Were you there? The kid got nervous. And I don't know why he falsified the truth, but I must reinstate. If I was a liar, my story would have collaborated with his. Just think about that.
I guess finally with the Bryant situation, do you feel conflicted or responsible in any way? I know you can't speak for the kid, but I mean, are you emotionally tied up in this? Yeah.
I'm emotionally tied to his family, to his sister, who, you do the math, mother's 34, kid is 20, 14 years old. I'm emotional about the cycle of pain that's going forth with the mother and the daughter, now the brother, habitual with drugs. That's what I'm emotional about. Football is football. Football will take care of itself. We have a 3-year span to play this game. I'm emotional about the life of these kids. That's what I'm more concerned about.
Okay, let me ask you about Michael Crabtree. Similar relationship with him. How would you describe your role in Michael Crabtree's life?
I love him. He's from South Dallas area, which my youth programs are really targeted. And he's a good kid, man, and I'm happy that he finally got his deal done and he's in the camp doing what he's blessed to do.
What role, if any, did you play in the negotiation between Crabtree and the 49ers?
I don't play a role in negotiation. That's his agent's. Dealing. That's what they do. I don't get involved in that. But when I'm asked for on the network as a correspondent, as an analyst, to find out what's going on, now I can call and use my resources to find out what's going on, and that's what I did.
So when you were on Total Access with Rich Eisen and he asked you about the situation, you said there's 2 teams that would trade for him.
Yes.
How did you know that information?
Because Eugene Parker told me. That was my source. Eugene Parker told me that the San Francisco 49ers told him there were 2 teams going to trade for Crabtree, but guess what? We're not going to trade him.
And this was during the period, July, August, when he could be traded before that window started where he couldn't be dealt.
Yes, sir.
And so Eugene says he knew from the 49ers.
Right.
You also made a comment saying those teams would pay him And then at the end of that interview, you said, why would you take, if you think you could get 40, why would you settle for 20? Did you know what these other teams would pay him?
No. First of all, if a team is willing to make a trade for you, common sense, they know what you want. So they're not going to trade for you understanding that you're going to hold out. No, they're going to trade for you understanding that there will be a deal consummated. That's why I would say if a team would trade for him, they're going to pay him. That's common sense.
So I guess, are you confused then as to why there is a tampering investigation?
Yes, I am. I am very confused. I'm confused with why there's an investigation on Dez Bryant as well as Michael Crabtree. It seemed like it all points back to Eugene. I think people are upset with his success. I'm elated about it. But I'm not helping him in any means. Gene had 7 first-round picks in the last 2 years. I don't know not one of them. Check the records. I didn't even introduce Eugene to Michael Crabtree. You know how Eugene got Michael Crabtree? By Larry Fitzgerald. It's common sense. The kid who has the best year last season is a receiver, Larry Fitzgerald. A guy coming out that's a receiver in college say, well, let me find out who's the highest paid receiver in the game. Larry Fitzgerald. I want the agent that represents him.
Do you understand, though, how people will perceive you as being conflicted when you make comments like, a lot of these contracts in the top 10 aren't that great, but Eugene's doing a great job?
I didn't say Eugene is doing a great job. I said a lot of these contracts in the top 10 are not what they seem. You're talking about fluff money. When you're talking to a kid, he wants to know what's real, current value, real dollars, not if he catches 100 touchdown passes in year 1, what he's going to receive. That's what I'm talking about. That's what these guys on the panel are about. They're about real dollars. When they came out, they want to know what's real dollars, not about what agent has the ability to make the contract looks the largest.
So just to get this on the record, then, you've never benefited financially from any of Eugene's contracts?
I don't have time to benefit financially. I don't prostitute kids, man. I love them. I try to nurture them. I try to call them, challenge and change them, and take them to another level and inspire them. That's what I do. I don't need to make money off a child. God is taking care of me. The first thing I do when I talk to these guys like a Dez Bryant, I look them in the eye and say, I don't need nothing. I don't want nothing. I'm not here to benefit off you. I'm here to help you, but don't lie to me.
Okay. So, and you've never steered a player, or have you ever steered a player to Eugene?
No.
Anyone you mentor?
No, but if a guy asks me, if a Devin Hester asks me, if his representation, Devin had representation, if a Devin Hester asks me about Eugene, I'm going to tell him the truth. I've been with this guy for 17 years of my career. I've known him over 20 years. I've never seen him lie. I've never seen him raise his voice. I've never seen him out of character, and he's a God-fearing man. I'm going to tell him that. But I'm not going to steer him to it. If I had the kind of influence on Michael Crabtree, he would have been training with me at Prime U. He didn't do that. He trained at Michael Johnson's place. If I'd have had that kind of influence on Michael Crabtree, he would have had an interview that he brought in over 5 to 6 agents, and he interviewed those and did a selection process. I would have said, man, just go with Eugene. Right. That's who you need.
Is there any part of you, though, Deion, that kind of understands why people are like, well, wait a minute, he's mentoring these guys, so he's really close with them. He's supposed to be a TV analyst, sort of an unbiased guy, and a fair commenter, and these hats sometimes overlap.
I have just as many relationships as you have. When you get your information, when you report to us, you get them from insiders. You get them from people in management. You get them from players, and you get them from trainers. And that's what I do, and doctors as well. That's what I do, but that's who I am. The difference is I have a true relationship with these guys. I'm not soliciting our relationship to benefit me. I'm soliciting our relationship so that I can help these guys go to another level. Man, football is only for a glimpse. I'm more concerned about the family. And people will point out about Adam Pac-Man Jones, what he's not doing. I haven't seen him in the news for about 2 years. Yeah, with his incident with the bodyguard. But the thing about him, I know him as a father. Forget football. Football is going to last for a minute. I'm talking about the father, the man who I know behind the scenes, who's weaning himself off alcohol and drugs, whose mother is getting herself together as a family, and they're joined, intertwined with each other in that love and that aspiration and that effect. That's what I'm concerned about, not no football, man.
Okay, a couple of more things I just needed to establish. Has the league contacted you in terms of the Crabtree tampering investigation?
No, they haven't.
And if they did, would you participate?
I would tell the truth, like I'm telling now. Right. The truth wins, man.
And is there anything that you feel like you can learn from this experience, I guess, and move forward? Again, because you obviously you are going to continue to work with these kids. You are going to maintain a relationship with Eugene, and you are going to be on TV.
I'm going to give them clothes and bicycles. I'm going to continue to do what I do. I am. And I'm not going to watch myself and censor myself. If someone has a problem, they have a problem. They've had a problem with me ever since I played the game. It's always been a problem. So you will continue to have a problem. But when you're talking about a young African-American kid in general, I'm going to help him, man. Because we all jump on these kids when they walk astray outside the gate. But then when we try to help them, you jump on the person that's helping them. That's why I understand and I respect Tony Dungy 100% of the way from leaving this game so he could focus on the thing. And I've thought about that. But I love this platform that I could speak and talk and give you an understanding on what these guys are going through. I have a plethora of phone numbers that I text every week. Now, we think it's cute on the NFL Network when Maurice Jones-Drew say, yeah, I got a text from Prime. He's not associated with Eugene. We think it's cute when Adalia Summers, all these guys. Michael Irvin met Chad Johnson before he was Ocho Cinco 10 years ago in my backyard. He met Champ Bailey in my backyard, training and mentoring these guys 10 years ago before they became this guy. The problem is people think that all I do is mentor these high-profile, high-priced guys. What about the guys, that 53rd man on the roster? What about those guys? I care about them too. Do you? Do you care about Dez Bryant's mother? His family, his brother,
Absolutely.
his sister. No, not you in general, but the people that are making this big rip. That's who I care about. They only looking at this guy as a football player. I'm looking at this man as a man, an asset to our community that's able to touch our kids.
But I guess finally, though, to wrap it up, the fact that both these kids were sort of caught in these controversies or in the crosshairs, and you're the guy kind of that spoke in that wheel.
I understand.
But again, there's nothing moving forward that you could do any differently.
I don't see what I can do. I really don't see what I can do. You know why? Because I did no wrong. I did no wrong. That's why I could sleep good at night and flip my pillow around 4 o'clock in the morning and turn it to the cool side.
Thank you, Deion.